What is going on, everybody? I'm Saute J. This is Saute South Podcast, Movies, and Games. I'm up here to talk about Avengers Doomsday. All right, I like to get straight into it. That's one thing you guys are going to learn about me, especially when it comes to podcasting. I don't like to waste too much time talking about, yo, follow me here, follow me there. This is my handle. Yo, check me out. Because honestly, if you guys like my content, you're going to follow and subscribe anyway. So it's whatever to me. And this by far is not a podcast episode. This is Conversations with your boy. That's what we're going to call this, Conversations with your boy. So this won't be the last video that I put out, so expect this to be a regular thing. But I'm up here to talk about Avengers Doomsday. I got a theory that it's been living rent-free in my head that I want to let you guys know about. I do think that there was going to be a twist that Marvel is going to hit us with that we will not be expecting. Now, you may disagree. All right, my opinion, my theory may be a very unpopular one. And if you disagree, hit that comment section and share what you think is going to happen with Avengers Doomsday. Don't just disagree and not have any reason for it. Let's hear what you got to say. I'm up here for the debate. I'm up here to listen. I'm up here to exchange information and theories. This is a pretty big movie. A lot of us are really excited about it. And, we got all the reason to. But we haven't received a whole lot of information about Avengers Doomsday. Just the basic stuff, the cast, who's going to be in it, what the premise is going to be. A lot of people are coming back from every Marvel movie that's been out to come together for a massive showdown with Dr. Doom. That's all we know. We also got 4 trailers, and I'm going to keep it a buck. 3 out of the 4 trailers were trash. 3 out of 4 trailers are trash. I keep it a buck, I keep it real, keep it raw, keep it funky. I'm not up here to say what you want to hear. I'm here to share my opinion, all right? I'm here to talk to you guys and have conversations about these things. And, I'm going to keep it real. 3 out of the 4 trailers were garbage. The first trailer we got was Chris Evans returning as Captain America, putting his shield in the drawer. Not his shield, his uniform in the drawer. He has a son. That's all that trailer was. That's pretty boring to me. I think the only purpose that served was to confirm Chris Evans returning. Is that really a big surprise, though? Because over the summertime, when he did that interview, he was looking way too jacked. And when they asked him, hey, are you going to come back as Captain America in the future? And he's like, nah, I'm happily retired. Yeah, cat, bruh. We knew you was going to come back, man. So that's not really a surprise to me. The second trailer we got, Thor was praying to somebody, asking for strength, for one last battle, and to come home to his daughter, Love. Hit the comment section. Let me know if there's something I missed. That wasn't a big deal to me. That was another boring trailer. I started losing interest. Trailer number 3, the X-Men one, I'm going to save that for last because that's the only trailer that I thought was absolutely fire. And I got the most information out of what this movie could be setting up to be from that one. So I'm going to save that for last. Trailer number 4, the one that recently dropped, was Shuri, Ben Grimm, Namor, and M'Baku all meeting up, having a conversation. What do you want me to say? Like, the movie, it was garbage. It was garbage. Like, another garbage trailer, boring, nothing. We didn't get anywhere. On top of that, the Feige's and Marvel are sitting here saying, like, these aren't teasers, these aren't trailers, they're stories, nothing to do with the movie. And I'm just like, all right, so why in the world do you have Ben Grimm standing right here and then all this space right here? I feel like they're hiding something with that. I feel like maybe they cropped out characters or a special appearance or a cameo or something, because there's way too much space going on in that particular trailer for me to just be like, oh, it's the end of the world. Now, the third trailer, the X-Men trailer, is the only thing that I thought was that set the tone and the vibes for what's to come in Avengers Doomsday. Professor X, Charles Xavier, they are welcoming death. And I hope to God they don't do my boy Magneto dirty, especially Sir Ian McKellen's. That's my Magneto. When I went to the theaters to go see the first X-Men movie back in the day, I was a kid, and I thought he was everything. I thought he was fantastic, and I don't think they could have picked anybody better. No disrespect to Michael Fassbender. Fassbender is definitely my guy, and he does a great job as Magneto. But my Magneto, Sir Ian McKellen. So I hope they don't smoke him. Professor X, I never gave a crap about Charles Xavier in the animated series, in X-Men 97, X-Men Evolution, Wolverine and the X-Men, whatever installation that they put out for X-Men, Charles Xavier just wasn't my guy. I respect him, but I don't really care what happens to him. I'm just going to be honest. I care about Magneto and I care about other characters. But So they're welcoming death. So I'm thinking something big's gonna happen. There's a reason why Cyclops at the end of this trailer took his visor off and he's losing it. You know, whoever's in front of that optic blast is going to be erased. All right, because he doesn't just do that. Something has to happen for him to lose it and rage out like that. But I don't know if you guys peeped. You probably did because we all been watching these trailers over and over again. I have, even though they're boring. But just in case I missed something, did you guys peep the leg in the background? I think that was a Sentinel leg. Or am I bugging? It definitely was a Sentinel leg. Now, it wasn't the, I don't think they're Sentinels from Days of the Future Past. I don't know what kind of Sentinels they are. I think these are going to definitely favor and resemble the ones that we've seen in the animated series. But there's something in the background, walking in the smoke, and it looks like Armageddon just finished taking place, by the way. And then, you know, Cyclops takes his visors off, and he's letting him have it. So I'm glad they're doing my boy Cyclops some justice. But those were the 4 trailers. 3 out of 4 were garbage. But one thing that I've noticed that these trailers have in common, tragedy. Tragedy. So be prepared. So I guess it did serve a purpose, these trailers. They were still boring, but they served a purpose because they had something in common. Loss, death, life, tragedy. And everyone is serious. So if these not going to be part of the movie, it's definitely going to set us up for what the vibes are going to be like. So that leads me to a theory that's been living rent-free in my head for a very long time since this movie was announced. And there's a lot of people out there, a lot of articles I've been reading. Everyone has the source material. You know what I mean? They're providing what happened in the comic book with different story arcs. And honestly, that's great that everybody knows what's happened in the comic books and TV shows and other movies. But I really do think that if they were to copy exactly what happened in the comic book, it's going to be too predictable. I think Marvel's going to stamp their own name on it. They're going to pay homage to it, without a doubt, certain things, but I don't think it's going to be a carbon copy. What I do think is going to happen, here's the theory. So it was a surprise that Kevin Feige and Marvel let Jonathan Majors go because they had set up Kang to be the next big baddie for the MCU that we are currently walking into right now. They had the name, the Kang Dynasty. They set it up in, what movie was that? Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania, I believe it was. And they introduced Kang and the Consulate Kangs. So what I think is going to happen is Dr. Doom was replaced quick. You know, they hired Robert Downey Jr. to play Dr. Doom, and they had to replace Kang with a big baddie. So I think what they're going to do, they're going to keep the same burger, but take the American cheese off and put provolone on that mug. You know what I mean? And what I mean by that is, instead of having a console of Kangs, I think we're honestly going to get a console of Dooms. Because, you know, they don't have too much time to rewrite a whole script, a whole story. They have to look at what they had laid out and just make small, minor adjustments. Let's get the ketchup off that bun and put mayonnaise on it. All right. Take the cheese off and put Chick-fil-A sauce on it. So they're going to switch up a couple of things and substitute some ideas. But I think they're honestly going to keep a lot of things very similar to what the Kang Dynasty was building its foundation on. Now, you obviously can't have the same outcome and battles, maybe not as Kang. So, or story arc. You're going to have to incorporate Doom somehow, some way. And of course, they're going to do that. But I think we're going to definitely get a console of Dooms. And I think, honestly, he's going to have access to the Sentinels somehow, some way. Because of that, you're going to have a Doom from the X-Men universe. You're going to have a Doom from the Spider-Man universe, Blade universe, and a whole bunch of things like that. But Robert Downey Jr., here's the twist. They said that Robert Downey Jr., while he looks like Tony Stark, while Victor Von Doom looks like Tony Stark, they're going to explain that in, what was it, Secret Wars or was it Avengers Doomsday? I think it wasn't in Avengers Doomsday. They're going to explain it in the movie. What I think they're going to do, I think when this movie drops, the twist is going to be that Robert Downey Jr.'s Dr. Doom is not the main Doom. Emperor Doom is already sitting on the throne. All right, the incursions have already taken place, right? The timeline's already jacked up, right? Different variants, different heroes. There's a good guy in this universe, but the bad guy in this universe, we got a whole bunch of that going on. It's very complicated. And obviously Doom wants to create Battle World. They're going to pay homage to him that way. But the main Doom, Emperor Doom, Lord Doom with the godlike powers is already sitting on the throne, and he is playing chess right now. And he's going to have his generals. He's going to have his whole squad and things like that. But Robert Downey Jr.'s version of Dr. Doom is not the main Doom. He's going to be the guy that's going to make sure everything runs smooth and in place. What I think honestly is going to happen, they're going to defeat that version of Dr. Doom, Robert Downey Jr. Not easily. It's going to be crazy, you know, but they're going to get the victory, right? And that's when it's going to be revealed that Emperor Doom is the main one pulling the strings. He's going to come down and give our heroes who are left an ultimatum. Captain America's son will cease to exist. Join me in Battle World. Peggy Carter will cease to exist. Join me in Battle World. They have no choice but to go to Battle World. Same thing with Thor. You know, you've experienced these losses already, Thor. Do you want to do that for your daughter now? No. So he would join him in Battle World. Same thing with Shuri, Namor, you know, the whole Sue Storm Namor thing. Maybe one of those characters gets killed off. Maybe they don't. But the main Doom, Emperor Doom, on the throne is going to leave our heroes who are left with a choice. And that's what's going to lead up into Secret Wars. That's my theory. So if you guys disagree, if it's unpopular, if it's a little wacky or whatever, you feel free to disagree. But if you're going to disagree, share what you think might happen and how this movie is going to play out. It's been living rent-free in my head for a while. I've told my brother already. I'm just like, yo, man, I don't think Robert Downey Jr.'s Dr. Doom is the main Dr. Doom that is going to be, you know, pulling the strings. He's just like, nah, you bugging, son. So I'm like, they're putting way too much emphasis. They're putting him in the front for too much. You know, they want to distract us. That's what Marvel does. They've been doing it forever. So I'm prepared now, just like they prepared us to stay at the end of every movie for the end credits to see what's going to happen. I'm prepared for this because this is not my first rodeo with Marvel and Disney. All right, I know something is coming. Something's going to hit us all in the face to make our jaws drop. Channing Tatum co-signed that because he said we're not ready and it's going to blow our minds. So with the Feige's and Marvel getting rid of Jonathan Majors and having to really quickly replace the villain and the actor with Channing Tatum saying what he said, and with the timeline, the incursions, and so many different variants of all these characters, yeah, that's what I think. I think there's an Emperor Doom. Oh, that's another thing. Before I let you go, they already said that Doomsday has taken place. So if it's already taken place, don't you think he's chilling on the throne already and just watching it unravel? Come on, son. Battle World's already done. Emperor Doom already won. He's just going to lose maybe a couple of generals and just be like, I don't know why y'all feeling so good. Turn that victory music off because I'm the OG and this is what's going to be left of y'all. That's what I think is going to happen at the end of Avengers Doomsday. That's going to lead into Secret Wars. Comment below if you agree. Comment below if you disagree. But if you disagree, remember what I said. If you disagree, comment what you think is going to happen. What are your theories? I would love to hear them. So don't be shy. If this is your first time checking me out right here, give me a like, give me a follow, give me a subscribe. Salty South Movies and Games. If you like movies, games, and trivia, this is the place to be. Podcast is going to be coming out June. I'm going to put a date on it. The day Spider-Man Brand New Day drops. I don't even know the date, but that's what I'm definitely going to be doing because Spider-Man is my favorite superhero of all time. So that's when the Salty South Podcast episode 1 is going to drop. All right, that's it. It's a wrap. Peace.